All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Commissioner's Court, 9 o'clock. Let's get started, and we'll stand for a prayer and a pledge of allegiance. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this beautiful summer morning, and we just gather together to conduct county business. When we first turn this meeting over to you and ask that you be in charge. Lord, grant us the wisdom and the ability to discuss important issues, to share information, and to make wise decisions. Lord, we thank you for this special presentation this morning. We thank you especially for our servicemen and women that have served in the past and continue to serve, and we continue to ask for your protection upon them and that you would return them safely home. Be with their families as they are here, constantly worried about their situation of their loved ones abroad. Again, Lord, we thank you for Titus County, for the residents here. We ask your blessing upon this East Texas community. We pray all this in Christ's name. Amen. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, again, welcome to our first meeting of the month of July. We just have a few items on here today, and it is just after 9 o'clock. Today is the 14th of July, 2014, and we're going to begin with item number 1, public comments, requests for information on non-agenda items in accordance with Section 551.042 of the Texas Open Meetings Act. I've got a request here, 2 of them, one from Judy Kent. Judy, welcome. If you'll step on up to the podium. You want to wait on this item number 12? Very good. Thank you. Janice Chisholm. Janice, you want to speak now or on a particular item?
Well, I don't know. I think it concerns the county.
Okay.
I'm not sure. My name is Janice Chisholm, and I think I'm a resident of Precinct 1. I'm not really sure, since I haven't ever seen a precinct map. Do we not make those?
We do. We have one.
Well, where do we find them? Because more than one person have asked for one. I don't mean the Marks-a-Lot kind.
I can get you one.
Okay, of the precincts where the roads are?
I don't know if I have a small, handy one, but I've got a big one.
Well, the Chamber of Commerce hands out city maps, you know, and I was just wondering shouldn't the county residents be informed?
Never had anybody ask me for
one.
I know,
I'm a little different, but try to deal with it.
I'll be glad to let you take a look at it. I'll be glad to provide you one.
Could you make a copy of it so I'll know where the lines are?
I think I've got extra copies.
Okay, I'd appreciate it to know where the lines are.
The county ones too.
So, say that again?
The chamber has county ones also.
Huh?
The chamber, they have the county map.
They have the county map, but not the precincts. Which lines? Because, I mean, in the real world, I mean, they change with the Census Bureau, don't they?
Okay. Sue, do you have some? Okay, it's like a small, convenient size?
I have a map of every precinct.
Okay.
Would you mind making me a copy of Precinct 1?
It'll cost you big bucks.
Oh, I figured that. I just like to know where the lines are and stuff. Okay. The next thing is, I take it you 5 white males are the governing body are responsible for Titus County government, correct? And the final say?
That sounds like a trick question.
No.
I don't know.
Are you afraid to be responsible or what? I mean, I'm just kind of curious about this. All right, so that's the trick question. We don't know if we're 5 white males that are responsible for Titus County. Could we ask, do you have a job description of what jobs, I mean, us poor taxpayers pay for? I mean, job, what is it?
In writing, honestly, I don't know the answer to that. I've never seen one.
Well, I was just wondering because, you know, the voter turnout is the lowest in the state of Texas. I mean, because people get sick of, well, I don't know, go ask Joe, go ask Mary. They get tired of $3.50 a gallon trying to figure out anything, you know, I mean, or maybe that is the idea, I don't know. Okay, since we don't have job descriptions, do we have anything called qualifications for the job? I mean, Barnum and Bailey Circus, I mean, we just get somebody from there or something, works just as fine, or what? I mean, you've got to know how to read a road map, don't you, to be a commissioner or not? I mean, are there qualifications? I may want to run for one of you guys' job.
You're certainly welcome to.
Well, I just thought I'd ask that, okay? And the reason I asked that, okay.
I do have a job description. I have a
Oh, there is a legitimate qualifications for that
I
job.
have for my office.
It's not a popularity poll then.
It has not been approved.
Would you make me a copy of that? Because
Certainly.
believe you me, what I've witnessed in the last 3 or 4 months, I need to know if there are qualifications, okay? Much less jurisdictions, okay? Are we sure about what area we're supposed to be representing, too? That's another question. Since, I mean, I just really have got a lot of questions. I should have never been home in the last couple of months to see this, to make me ask all these questions. Nobody knows their jurisdiction? Or is there a certain amount? I mean, you guys aren't out on the interstate picking up trash, are you, or anything? I hope not. Well, why I'm asking this is, I'm a poor little old person over there, fixed to get flooded out if we get another inch of rain like we did on June 27th, okay? Because it seems like we don't know how to make I think they're called bar ditches or something, because I've been blessed with some Christians across the road that decided that if they want to run the four-wheeler at 9 o'clock at night and run through the ditches, we should level them off. So, I mean, we do a clearing the fence row and we make more holes than you could believe. So then it just washes in. So then I'm the poor broke smook that lives down down in the flats, so I get all of it in me, but I'm told, why? What's wrong with the ditches? I mean, does it take a rocket scientist? I have to go through mud to get to my driveway now. I mean, you know. And then on top of that, aren't we supposed to worry about the county roads? I look up and I see 2 dump trucks and a backhoe in the yard of a lady that has been rumored in the neighborhood to have collected $300,000 in real estate money in the last couple of years. And she's got 2 grown sons, and her boyfriend shot bullet holes in my barn, but we can't do nothing about that. But we run into her yard with a county backhoe and pick up a stump. And now I'm getting worried that maybe they run down the Farm to Market Road 2152 and did the driveway for her son too, because the gravel is out of the driveway, you know. So I mean, where is the jurisdiction? Don't the county? I mean, I admit I don't pay as many taxes as her or the cross-bearing people or whatever they are. But I mean, do I have to be harassed, or does it take a lawsuit against the county to have any common sense? I'm just lost out there. I really am. I've never seen so much in my life that, I mean, it is downright corruption. And I thought this was the Bible Belt. That's all. I would just like some answers, okay? I appreciate your time now. Let's.
Well, I guess I'm kind of lost in this conversation. So, you know, one, I guess some of those questions can be answered by your commissioner.
Well, no, because I called there too. And the cute part was, I says, why is 2 dump trucks and a backhoe on a state Farm to Market Road in a private yard moving a stump? Oh, was there only 3 trucks? I mean, that's the way you answer a person? I mean, I'm honestly understanding that comes under the qualifications. Are we trying to be humorous about this? I mean, I assure you, I have got a real estate agent working for me right now trying to get me out of that place. I am not kidding you. If I had the money, I'd be out tomorrow. I am not kidding you. It has been horrible in the last 6 months, what I've been dealing with. Maybe I should start looking for another job or get out of town or something. I mean, I am going. But I mean, I need to, you know, I mean, I don't understand. I mean, the county works for somebody that's got rumored to be $300,000 and a boyfriend, but they won't even make a ditch for me. I mean, what's the problem? I mean, I thought we all, and then I've heard other people. I've got a mobile home park behind me. Bless their hearts, so they're Hispanic and not rich, but they can't even get dirt in the holes in their roads because they're told that's a private road. We can't fix that. I mean, I'm sorry. I have witnessed this in the last since March, since I've been home more, and this is just on my road. What else goes on in this county? It's kind of sad. It really is. I'm sorry that you have to be so mean. That's all I've got to
Well,
tell you.
I certainly don't intend to be mean. If you're insinuating something illegal has occurred, I would encourage you.
I don't know, but I'm sure that
Okay.
a lawyer could. I mean,
Well,
yeah.
that's why we have a sheriff. You can certainly discuss the matter
Oh,
with
I
the
know.
sheriff, and they will.
They are just
I'm trying to answer your question.
Okay, go for it.
And if, it's his job to investigate as to whether or not there's been anything illegal occurred. It's not your job to interpret that or my job to interpret that. Let him make that
You
call.
mean the sheriff decides that the county commissioner can go all over and help a girlfriend or something, but he can't do a ditch?
No, I said that the sheriff would investigate as to whether or not there's been anything illegal occurred.
Oh, no, they know that the barn has been shot up, and they stood there, yep, it came from her pasture over there. That's it. I mean, you know, hello? I'm the guy that's getting shot up by the boyfriend and, you know, and everything else. I mean, I'm sorry.
Well, I'm sorry about that,
humor in
too.
this, you know?
No, it's not
Barney
funny.
life we don't need, okay? I would just like some answers, and I would like to see the Christianity practice that these people say that they believe in, okay? Because I'm believing somebody's got Christianity and corruption mixed up, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Item number 2, consider and possibly approve minutes from the June 23rd special meeting of the Commissioners Court. That was our second meeting of the month of June.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion, we approve the minutes.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton and second by Commissioner Hockaday for approval on those minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, a special presentation today. This is going to be great. Item number 3, Steve Austin, welcome. I know you've got something very special brewing today. Come on up and tell us what we have got here, and I assure you this will be a treat.
Morning, Commissioners.
Morning.
Judge, fellow veterans, citizens of Titus County. Today it's my honor and privilege to bring before you documentation and proof and award of courage and exemplary duty to the country for his service during World War II. He was later called to complete his service during the Korean conflict. We have among us veteran William Howard Townsend. Today he will be presented with the Bronze Star Medal. This is the 7th highest decoration that our nation honors, some 70 years after the fact. Mr. Townsend, I believe, had your 96th birthday just recently? 96th birthday just recently. We're certainly proud to be able to present this medal at this time, even though it may be 70 years after the fact. On March 11, 1945, Mr. Townsend was presented or earned the Combat Infantryman Badge for his exemplary and satisfactory action against the enemy in the Rhineland. As a combat infantryman, a award by General Omar Bradley recognizing the efforts of the infantrymen, especially in the Eastern European front, where combat soldiers were forced to face anti-aircraft guns brought down to ground level, used as anti-personnel and anti-armor devices. Talking about multiple machine gun nests and high-impact, high-penetration artillery rounds, not firing a mile and a half into the sky, but point-blank ground level. Yes, indeed, I think the Bronze Star is the least that we could do to honor these combat veterans. As a word of information, the Combat Medic Badge also qualifies for this particular honor. At the conclusion of World War II, Mr. Townsend was a tech sergeant. Later, the United States became involved in the Korean conflict. Mr. Townsend came back into service and was mustered out of the Army as a, I believe it was a battalion sergeant major. Again, we want to pay our honor to him today. I will read the citation for the Combat Infantryman Badge, then present the medal to Judge Lee and the citation for his presentation to Mr. Townsend. This is under the provisions of and in accordance with Circular 400 dated 17 October 1944. The Combat Infantryman Badge is awarded to the following named officers and enlisted men for the satisfactory performance of duty in direct actual combat against the enemy in Germany. The name below is 3rd Battalion, Headquarters Company, Tech Sergeant William H. Townsend. Serial number follows. This time it's my honor to present the Certificate of Award and Bronze Star Medal for presentation to Judge Lee.
I'm going to read this from up here, but I'm going to come down there and make this presentation in just a moment. But our Titus County Veteran Service Officer is proud to present the Bronze Star Medal to Sergeant William H. Townsend, U.S. Army, World War II, Headquarters Company, 3rd Battalion, 271st Infantry Regiment, 69th Infantry Division, for meritorious achievement in active ground combat. This document that I'm going to read is from the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents, greeting. This is to certify that the President of the United States of America, authorized by Executive Order 24th of August, 1962, has awarded the Bronze Star Medal to Technical Sergeant William H. Townsend, Army of the United States, for meritorious achievement in active ground combat against the enemy on 11 March 1945, while serving with Headquarters Company, 3rd Battalion, 271st Infantry Regiment, 69th Infantry Division, in support of the Fighting 69th's drive through the Rhineland. Technical Sergeant Townsend's exemplary performance of duty in active ground combat was in keeping with the finest traditions of military service and reflects great credit upon himself, the 271st Infantry Regiment, 69th Infantry Division, and the Army of the United States. Given under my hand in the city of Washington this 10th day of February 2014. Give you a little better shot of this when I come down, but I wanted you all to be able to see this beautiful award here. Bronze Star.
Yes.
Just got a glimpse of it a while ago. That's very nice.
That is very nice.
Personal forward going back with your name inscribed.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put my fingers on it, but when you lift up that cap there, you can look on the back side and see your name on that jar.
Yep, I see it.
It's pretty small. I can't read it, but it's there.
Well, I'm 95. I'm not too good at it either.
Yeah, back on there. I'm sure you'll find a special place for that.
I will, Judge. I will.
I'm going to give that to you. Tell me who all we got here. If you're with this gentleman right here, raise your hand for me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We've got a good crowd today.
That's about right.
That's perfect. Got it.
Mr. Townsend, will you turn towards us a little
All right,
bit so they can get a picture?
these folks want to get a picture.
There you go. There you go.
Let's come up here to the Army flag and we'll give you a chance to take some better pictures. Chief, for making this possible. We thank you for the family members that have come today. Special day. We don't get to do this very often. They're going to slip on out. Thank you again for coming.
I got you covered.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Florida flag will stay here the full day, and the U.S. Army Federal flag from North back over to the rest of the day.
Thank you, Steve. We don't get many bronze stars here, certainly not 70 years later. All right, item number 4, status report for Titus County Pass-Through Program. I don't have a formal report today from PTP. We've had several meetings with PTP and with our construction managers that are on the various projects here, but I did want to read you some thoughts here that I believe are important that you understand. At this time, it's still my understanding that Williams Brothers intends to be complete on the Highway 271 portion of our 3-part loop project by Labor Day. So that's coming up here within the next 6 or 7 weeks. This is the portion that will carry traffic from the Bates Cooper Sloan Funeral Home to the Highway 67 and Interstate 30 interchange where El Chico Restaurant is located. I will let everyone know if that deadline changes, but at this time, they expect to be complete by Labor Day. Unfortunately, however, I want to go on record saying that it is almost certain that our third segment, FM 4000, will complete on time. It will not complete on time. This is the portion that will carry traffic from South Jefferson, there at Home Depot and Tractor Supply, out to the Chapel Hill Road. Since my meeting with the contractor, James Construction Group, on May 14th, we have seen some improvement in the pace. However, they continue to face a very real deadline of September 1 to have the seal coat placed. And when I say seal coat, I'm talking about the black surface that the car drives on. Since this is the surface that we will drive on, it's pretty much a deal breaker. If you don't have that down, you're not going to be driving on the bare dirt. If the September 1 deadline is missed, it is almost certain that this segment will not open to the public until early summer of 2015. PTP has asked James to focus all of their efforts on meeting this deadline in an effort to at least complete the segment between 271 and 2348, which is the Union Hill Road. This would at least enable traffic to travel the same segment that was in place prior to construction, which I'm equating to Tennyson Road. This would not, if they were able to focus their attention on that segment and at least get traffic back where they could go from 2348 back to Home Depot. We've got a lot of folks right now that are desperately missing that segment of road. If we could get that part complete, that will leave, this would not include the portion from 2348 out to 1735, the Chapel Hill Road. Nor would it include the segment that connects 271 south there at Home Depot with the new high-speed 271 bypass. If you're heading south right now towards Pittsburgh, you come to all the barrels where the construction is and you see where they are laying concrete. If you look to the left out towards Chapel Hill, it looks like we've got a road getting real close. If you look to the right, you will see the construction of a bridge that goes up and over
the Union Pacific Railroad and comes down in the middle of the Prefort complex. From there, it will curve left, and it will meet up with the high-speed 271 loop, where you will get on there at an entrance ramp, either heading towards Pittsburgh or heading out towards Interstate 30. I can almost assure you that that segment is not going to be complete within their time frames. I think it's going to be quite late, but I'm more concerned about getting the seal coat down where we can at least travel from 271 south out to 2348, at least get us back to where we were. However, I have serious doubts about that. Obviously, I'm very disappointed to give you this news, but at the same time, I want everyone to be aware of where we are. Despite the fact that everything looks like it's progressing at the intersection of South Jefferson and Tractor Supply, the end is not near. Our county residents that previously depended on Tennyson Road need to be aware of this reality. I certainly hope that James Construction is able to mobilize the necessary forces to complete this segment, but I believe this is unlikely with only 6 weeks remaining and so much work still to be done. The September 1 deadline is not just a date that somebody has picked, but this has to do with a policy that TxDOT Atlanta has, and that is if you're going to lay seal coat, we want you to lay it in the prime warm months of the year, May to September 1. And if you lay it outside of that, we don't believe that you end up with the quality product that you should. Is there a possibility they would extend that deadline past September 1? At this point, they're not going to commit to that one way or another. If we are having a really, really hot summer all through August, and it looks like it's creeping into September, there is a possibility that they would an extension, but at this time, I'm not going to count on that. There are certain things you can do with that road material to enable it to be laid during the latter part of the year, but it's not something that TxDOT looks like they're going to approve. And so even if the contractor were to choose to go ahead and lay the seal coat after September 1, the problem is TxDOT says we will most likely not approve that. Without TxDOT's approval, it's highly unlikely that this court would approve opening that road to the public, because TxDOT would not have accepted that road into their system, would not be responsible for maintenance, and Titus County would remain responsible for any damage done to that road over the winter months. Anybody have a question about that? I've tried to make that as clear as I could, but does anybody have a question? Sue?
I have a question about what you said. Is it possible to remove all those barriers in front of Walmart? I don't understand why we have all these traffic jams and problems there when nothing appears to be, happening in that area.
Oh, there's a lot happening in that area. I don't know how often you're out there. They were pouring concrete on Saturday, large sections of concrete there. At that intersection of 4000, the new future road that runs out to Chapel Hill there, and 271 South or South Jefferson, that will be a concrete intersection. From the point that it crosses out 50, 100 feet, I'm not sure what, will be concrete. That's what's going on right now. Well, that's part of the traffic control plan. I don't like it, you don't like it. I don't imagine there's anybody in this town that likes that. But unfortunately, it is part of the plan for building that road. It is designed by an engineer, it is approved by TxDOT, and it is carried out by PTP exactly according to the way that they have designed it. And if we go out there and we decide, you know what, we're going to shove these barrels out of the way, any accident that occurs, we're going to be liable for it.
Okay, but if they don't meet the contract date, September 1 and whatever, and they can't do anything along that strip, then we at least remove them for a period of time until they get back to it?
I would think so. I would think so. But right now they've got to complete that intersection. And unfortunately, when they pour one side of it, they're going to be moving over to the other side, and we're going to continue to be dealing with those barrels for a minimum of 2 months, is what I've been told. I'm sorry, I don't like it either. But let me be clear on this. There is traffic continuously trying to go in and out between those barrels, turning left into Walmart. The traffic control plan calls for no lateral traffic anywhere except at the 2 lights. So if you're coming south from downtown and you want to go to Walmart, you need to go either to that, you need to go down to that second light, down there closer to where Staples is, and turn in at the light. Don't be cutting in. And I know it's happening all the time, and that's why we continue to have a bunch of wrecks. Well, I suggested that, but that's not part of the traffic control plan. Chris?
You wouldn't want to do anything to obstruct that.
No, we don't.
I would suggest that on the traffic control plan, I understand what they're trying to do. They might need more barrels because it's very unclear right now. People don't know that you're not supposed to drive there. And
I had this discussion last Thursday afternoon ad nauseum, you know, for an hour and a half. We met about this.
The city is giving tickets for people who get
Yeah, they don't want you going in and out of there. And so I asked, why don't we just bring in 100 more barrels? Well, that's more money, and it doesn't go along with the traffic control. And even if you add to it, we're not supposed to add to it. And I don't like that answer any more than you do, but yeah. Ms. Chisholm?
On this deep-laden stuff in the Department of Transportation, I'm not understanding all of it except if this is light stuff, are we looking at any kind of penalties here or give back to the state on this loop and stuff? How much is this a little bit late going to charge?
Well, to explain how that works, the contractor, in this case, James Construction Group, who is responsible for FM 4000, that east-west segment out to Chapel Hill, does have a deadline. If they miss that deadline, then yes, they owe what are called liquidated damages. They do owe money back to the county, not to the state.
Okay,
so
we're not liable to the state.
We're not liable to the state.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, James isn't giving us 50 cents and we got to pay the state.
That's correct. No, we don't know. The state doesn't have us under a stopwatch. They just simply say, when the road's completed, we'll approve it, and then we'll start paying you back your money. That is the way that you're going to pay for the road. Now, fortunately, 2348, the first segment of our loop, has already been completed, and we anticipate receiving the first payback monies from the state of Texas through TxDOT here within, maybe by the end of the month. The next set of payments will come from the completion of the 271 high-speed portion from the funeral home out to El Chico. If we complete that by Labor Day, we're looking at roughly a 6-month lag, and we'll start receiving payments on that. The payments are based upon total road miles traveled. And so fortunately, we'll have 2 of the 3 segments and roughly 90% of the total job complete. And so we will begin receiving our payback from TxDOT, but unfortunately, the completion of 4,000, most likely being delayed until next year, that will delay the payments that we are due related to that portion of the road. So we won't be getting full reimbursement payments as timely as we had at one time expected. Okay. Anyone else? Commissioners, anybody want to add to that?
The only thing I'd say, Judge, it looked like they were probably seal coated Friday. They started Friday. It looked like seal coated 2348 back to the west.
Okay. Well, that's great. The contractor did say we're going to be working as, we're sure going to try to complete at least that section. And I understand PTP has even made, alluded to the fact that perhaps there could be some negotiation on liquidated damages. If you can deliver us this complete section, at least get it where Chapel Hill residents can travel back the way they're used to, maybe we could be more lenient in the penalty phase. But, I guess it's all going to be part of a negotiation, but right now we just want them to get as much work done as possible. We're not there yet. You sat in on them. These 2 commissioners sat in on that last meeting. Either of you care to add anything to that meeting from PTP and James Construction?
I think it was made pretty clear to them that to get the seal coating done, they're scheduled to finish the job, I think, in into October, something like that. And I think they can finish it at that time. the state and the rules that they have set up, we have to have that road seal coated by September the 1st. If it's not done by then, you're not going to open that road. The state will not accept it until next May. And then it'll be seal coated at that time, and then it will be open. But I think we made it pretty clear that this is a goal we would like to see. If we can't have all of it, let's try to get a portion of it. And that's what I think they're working on right now. Whether they'll do it or not, I don't know. We've been told stuff, and sometimes it didn't happen exactly the way they said it would happen. I do know they're seal coating in different areas out there, and they've already got oil put on some of it. The bridge through Hart Creek, they're finished, and they're doing the ends and trying to get that set up. The base work, I think they're still working on is 1735. They're trying to finish that up. I think it's a realistic goal. If they really concentrate on it, they might get it. But right now, I don't. I'm like the judge. I have my faith in them is not as strong as it used to be. So that's kind of where we're at.
Commissioner Riddle, anything to add?
No, the James guy said we're going to do it. We're going to get it seal coated, all of it, by then now. Because the rest of it they could work on in September and October if they could get a seal coat. But Hockaday said on Wednesday, that was Monday I think, he said on Wednesday they said they couldn't do it. But I don't know.
Judge, one question on the part down there where they're talking about from Walmart. If they get the intersection all finished, they should be able to move on.
They will remove the barrels.
Those barrels should be gone by Labor Day or a little after, shouldn't they? They won't be through with that.
I was told Thursday at least 2 months, and we've never beat a deadline. When they tell me at least 2 months, it's always more than that, just the nature of the business.
But at least those barrels should be there all the time.
When they finish it, they should, because you'll open.
We certainly hope not.
Back up.
Certainly hope not. I didn't ask that specific question. They alluded to the fact that the barrels would be gone, but I say get used to them until well into the beginning of the school year, in one configuration or another. All right, anybody else? All right, item number 5, update on the Winfield Fire Department. I think I've got some good news for you. Welcome, Chief Ford. How are you today?
First of all, I'd like to say thank y'all.
Extend that up just a little bit, Jerry, if you would, just so everybody can hear you, or you can pull it off the stand. There you go.
I'd like to say thank y'all for y'all's patience over the last several months on this subject. The Winfield Volunteer Fire Department is a no more. It is now a Tri-Lakes Station 2. Our area was extended to Highway 67 north of Winfield. At that time, we have deeded the land in the building to Tri-Lakes VFD. It's done been filed here at the courthouse and everything. All bills are paid. We have signs that we'll have up probably by the end of this week. They state Tri-Lakes VFD Station 2, needing volunteers, applications in the City Hall. And then as far as our trucks go, we completed one of them Saturday. We have a brush truck in service right now in Winfield. We had to redo the pump on it, the motor, rose reel, tanks, and etc. That truck is up and running right now. Truck 41 is another brush truck. The motor is being rebuilt at Joe's ATV at this time. Mini pumper 78. It's a 1,000-gallon truck. It will be staged at Winfield as soon as the Texas Forestry Service releases the old Winfield tanker to start. So probably by the end of next week, we'll have 2 trucks sitting in Winfield, ready to go. As far as the members go, we have 2 there. We've inherited 2 more in the last few days. With the help of Mac Ray and the Mount Pleasant Fire Department, they will be attending classes tonight Next week will be also some more classes, and in the next month will be some more classes to get their training up to date where they need to be. Right now, all the bills are paid there. Everything's taken care of. The radios that was missing is now taken care of. A contract between Tri-Lakes VFD and Winfield. We went to the mayor's meeting and their people, and they have agreed to let us come in and put a department there so they would have fire protection in the city limits. We have a draft here that we have done up. Mr. Clark has helped us out on it, that we're going to submit to Winfield and their attorneys. Once that is complete and signed, then Mount Pleasant will have to do a contract with Tri-Lakes as a mutual aid for them to also come to the city of Winfield. So right now, the city of Winfield is probably about as good as it has been in the last couple of years. We have people training. We worked all weekend long on these trucks. I think we make good progress. We have people that's wanting to join and wanting to do the training. We got to do it. That's about all I got, unless y'all have any questions.
Chief, I want to tell you on behalf of the court, I appreciate your leadership in this matter. I don't know how many meetings you've had in the last 2 months on the subject of the Winfield Fire Department, and I know you're trying to build a house and you've got a job and you're the chief of a volunteer fire department, and your willingness to take on location number 2 and to deal with what you've had to deal with is remarkable, and I appreciate that. Yes. Thank you for coming up with a solution here. It was looking bleak at our last meeting. I didn't really know what was going to happen here. I know that Winfield can't afford to, develop their own independent fire station over there, and I know that there has been struggles with leadership and membership, and it sounds like you've given a new lease to that situation over there. We appreciate it. This is great news. I've shown the commissioners here your list of some expenses here. Do you have any comments on that document that you gave to me? You showed nearly $10,000 worth of some repairs and replacements that were needed. You felt like you were going to be able to come up with about $7,000. You've got a gap in there. What's the situation there?
Well, the gap, we come back, and Jerry Clark and I, and there's some funds still left that was cut off of the Winfield Fire Department for the last 3 months. We've come and asked for them funds to be released to Tri-Lakes to help fill this gap. Since Winfield is no more a department, checking accounts and all is closed, that Tri-Lakes now, for any future repairs, will be footing out of our pocket. So we've asked for them 3 months funds to be released to Tri-Lakes to help repair that truck.
And I've got that in the next agenda item to discuss that.
But we paid a lot of stuff that's already on that list. They've been paid off in full. I have all the receipts. If anyone comes back and has questions about it, was this taken care of? I have the receipts for it. It has been taken care of. And that's all I got. We'll just do the best we can.
Commissioners, anybody have a comment or a question?
No, I appreciate Jerry and appreciate y'all what's been done. It's one of those type of situations where we were going to lose the volunteer fire department, and the main reason is because we just didn't have the people volunteering like they had in the past, and also these volunteers have to have the training. The training is the key to everything. And I know Jerry well enough, he's not going to let anybody get in a dangerous situation that doesn't have the training they should have, because you get somebody killed that way. And that's a big, awesome responsibility when you make decisions as a fire chief. But I do know that they're going to have their training if they want to fight fires or be a part of that. And I appreciate that stand on that. Also, we were worried about trucks not being in there for Jerry to take this on and make this fire department number 2 or substation. people in Winfield and the surrounding areas still all come under that protection and fire protection. Also, your rating is a 6, I believe.
Yes, but we will have to re-rate that at a further date. But first, we need to get the personnel in, the training, the equipment, the building codes. We'd have to spend, it's going to take years, 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, to get that department up to where it needs to be to even try for another ISO rating. Because it covers much more area plus the city.
Well, the big thing is I know it does make a difference.
So right now, we have a 6 in our area. So, yeah.
Tri-Lake does have a 6 rating. But anyway, appreciate especially keeping the fire trucks up there. That was something that a lot of people had talked to me about, that they'd like to see their trucks stay there. And we also have, I know you have 2 or maybe more by now, but I do know you have 2 people that live in Winfield that live right there in the community. And if they had a grass fire or something like this, they could respond very quickly, and Tri-Lake would be coming. Also, Mount Pleasant would be coming. The one other thing you have to really consider is the interstate that goes through there.
Rex.
You're talking about some dangerous situations with those big 18-wheelers, depending on what they're hauling. Could be a major deal. So we appreciate you doing and keeping everything together.
Yes, sir.
At this time, there's no change to the ISO rating for Winfield. At least it stayed. We haven't lost any ground.
No.
Okay.
They're 10 anyway. It's the worst you can get. But it takes.
But residents shouldn't expect to see any change in there. I mean, I know there's some insurance companies that even though you have that 10 rating could say, yeah, we're not going to.
Their insurance going to stay the same. It's just if there was no fire department there and these insurance companies come back and say, well, you don't have no fire protection inside your town, there's no station there, they raise their insurance rates up. But now we got trucks there, fire department there, it should stay just like it has been, the same.
Very good. Thank you again.
Thank you.
You want to go ahead and address this?
Yeah. Item number 6, consider and possibly approve reallocation of monthly payment of $800 to Winfield Volunteer Fire Department. Our VFDs each receive differing amounts of monthly supplements from the county. Winfield is at the low end at $800. Some of our larger departments are at the high end of $1,200. We stopped this $800, I believe, during the month, Carl, do you remember, did we stop it in the month of June?
Well, we stopped it once it started that, and stopped it again. So I don't know if the 2 or 3.
We shouldn't be more than, I don't think we should be more than 2 behind. But what I'm proposing to you is that.
Jury back said 3.
3, okay. Does that include, we owe you May, June, July? Does that sound right? It wouldn't be as far back as April, would it?
No. No, we're talking about July.
We've still got some payments still to come here throughout this budget year, but I don't know how far behind we are. But what I'm asking you to consider is getting back on track with this $800 at least through the end of this budget year, through the end of September, get the $800 back flowing to Tri-Lakes here on behalf of this new station number 2 there in Winfield. And if we're behind in any of those payments, which I know we are, again, at least 2, possibly 3, this will help them fill that gap of about $3,000 on that list that I showed you there, where we've got some real repairs that need to be made, and they're using just about all of their financial resources in their bank account, but they're short $2,000 or $3,000.
Judge, I make that a motion. Restore that $800 a month that had been paid and go to Tri-Lake.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Fields, second by Commissioner Hinton, and this is to restore the $800 previously paid to Winfield. We will make that now retroactive and moving forward through the end of the budget year going to Tri-Lakes in the amount of $800. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, thank you very much. We'll get right on that. Item number 7, consider and possibly approve an additional $200 expense for the repair of a vandalized air conditioning unit used in the Cadell building remodel. We had thought that this was going to be able to be taken care of for $800, and it turned out to be $1,000. Is that right, Chris? So I just want to be sure we publicly approve any expenses related to that Cadell building annex or Ratliff building remodel. So I need $200 more to pay the bill to adequately repair that vandalized air conditioning unit.
Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton. Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of approval of that additional $200, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 8, consider and possibly approve an expenditure of $400 to repair a roof leak in the Cadell building. This is something that came up during the remodel of the Cadell building, and we certainly didn't want a leaky roof damaging our newly remodeled storage area there. We saw the leak in some of the new ceiling tiles. We got Hefner Roofing to take a look at that, and they pegged that expense at $400 to fix that roof leak, and that's fortunately the only roof leak in that area.
Also make a motion on that.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton. Second by Commissioner Fields for an additional $400 on that project to take care of a roof leak. Yes, sir.
Chris, you know, we were talking about that back corner and the drainage back there. Is this going to help this too? This is something different from that? Okay. That's all.
This is up close to the indenture on the roof.
Okay.
Where the vent pipe comes through for fresh air.
Okay, I know what you're talking about now. Okay.
Okay, I've got a motion and a second for this $400 roof leak repair. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 9, update on the adult probation construction project. Welcome, Chris.
Good morning. I don't know if you all taking a look. Things are moving along very, very well over there. They're about 60-70% done on the completion of the construction. The last time we met, you had a request to go to brick on the front. I walked over there right after the Commissioner's Court. We made the change at no cost, and I'm very pleased with the brickwork. If you hadn't seen it, it's kind of covered up right now because they're framing it, but the guy that did the brickwork did an excellent job, and he did it in the spirit of the old way of doing it with the craftsman detailing. And if you hadn't seen it, once they pull the plastic off, I think you'll be very appreciative of it. We also picked a brick that looked like it was 100 years old, but it's new, and so that's done over there. The HVAC units are in. The 2 new 5-ton units are in over there. They're all in and operational. The duct work is being finished up this week. The east side still is not the duct in there, but it is return air ducted as well as supply ducted. They're over there taping mudding, and that should be finished this week also. All the chip board is up except for 10 more sheets that they've still got to put up. The doors, the 7-foot doors with the transoms are on order. That's about a 6-week delivery on that. So it's looking like the middle to late August that the doors will come in, and they'll be one of the last things put in. The finished wood for the paneling and stuff is all coming in this week. I gave them the key to that corner unit, and they're actually storing the wood in there, and we'll stain it in there. What that'll do is keep that smell, all that stain, from messing up the adult probation. So I gave them the permission to just go ahead and store it and stack it and stain it in there, and then once it's stained and sealed, they'll actually install it. Let's see. Met with the cabinet folks this morning. Last week I met with the adult probation administrative staff and gave them some drawings of, down to the details of where the drawers are and what kind of drawers, how big is the drawer, and we made some changes on that, and got with the cabinet guys this morning, and they will have wood, start building those cabinets here this week and get those in. The storefront is scheduled to be complete by the end of the week, and when I say complete, that means that the glass is all in. One of the things that we've done here is we've got the old look, and it's going to look like something that was 100 years old, but everything is new materials. All the glass that's in there is no longer single glaze, as we took out. It's all double glazed, but it's all being framed in with the old look. So we're getting a very energy efficient front. The stucco is going to redo the stucco on the whole front there, all the way down to the corner unit. D'Angelo Development just said he didn't want his building looking really nice and that corner's still been messed up, so he's going to carry the stucco on around to that corner and go ahead and clean it up so that it all looks nice on there. The meeting with the tile guys and the ceiling guys tomorrow. We've already picked out some tiles and stuff and started getting some prices. The ceiling guy was the one with the faux metal tin ceiling will be coming in tomorrow. See what he's got on there. Scheduled to be complete by late August. We were shooting for 15 August, and it's probably going to be a week or two more, just by the schedule of the doors and everything that's coming in. But by the end of August, we should be complete and ready for them to move in. We kind of came up with a little saying for the building over there. Instead of the old saying that says everything old is new again, we're saying everything new is old again. So we've got energy efficient fronts. We've got LED lights, so that it's going to be a lot more energy efficient use of that space than it ever was in the past. So that's kind of where it is. Any questions?
Well, I appreciate you showing me around in there from time to time. It really does look good. The brickwork turned out great. The inside's great. It's going to be a very nice, efficient, I think relatively inexpensive for what we're getting over there, but Mr. D'Angelo's looks like he's doing a really good job.
And we got the guys in adult probation already starting to pick out, the guys and gals starting to pick out which one is their office, which is a good sign. They're over there saying this one's mine, that one's mine, and so that's kind of a good sign. They're getting excited. Thank you. Thank you,
Chris. Item number 10, consider and possibly approve purchasing signature pads for the elections office. Leonard, take your time and come on up. Leonard's had recent surgery and he looks like he's doing better every day.
These signature pads, I think y'all probably seen them when you come to vote. About 2 years ago, the state approved electronic signatures for voters. And what this does is sometimes we have printers, and the printers sometimes bog up, and we can't print out the label for the voters. But with these signature pads, we're able to capture the signature, which I said has been approved by the state, that we can use those now. We had purchased 6 of them and kind of experiment with them, and they work well and kind of speed things up. So my request today is to go ahead and purchase another 14 of them, giving us 20 that we could use it at all of our polling places. And the purchase price would be around $250 a piece, about $3,500. The funds that I'm requesting to use to purchase these is out of our Chapter 19 fund. Chapter 19 funds accumulated by, we get reimbursed from the state for keeping our rolls up to date, removing deceased people and change of addresses and registering people, and they reimburse us so much for each one of those transactions. At this time we have $3,866 that we will lose if we don't spend it by August 31st. So I'm requesting to use this money to purchase these 14 signature pads for the elections office.
Net cost to the county, zero?
Sir?
Won't cost the county anything. You'll be able to cover it all out of that Chapter 19 fund?
If I don't use it by August 31st, like I said, we're going to lose it, so I want to use it to purchase these signature pads.
All right. Motion by Commissioner Fields, second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor of approving this expenditure for Leonard, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Can you give it, Leonard, can you give us an update on your moving project over there into the Cadell building?
Okay. I just spoke with Chris. I need to be sure exactly where it is, and we can start to move the equipment. I did talk with the technician that will be coming out to service all of our equipment, and that's going to be scheduled for early September. So we'll have time to get everything moved so that once it's moved and calibrated and everything, we won't have to move it again until we move it out to the polling places in November.
So you plan to have the service work done in the new Cadell building storage area?
Right.
Okay, so your target is to be moved out September 1, I mean, when?
Well,
September 1, or I think we need you earlier than that.
Yeah.
Chris, when do we need to have that south side of Leonard's building empty?
Middle of August. It goes late as middle of August.
Well, let's go, that'd be an absolute deadline. Is it possible, Leonard, what's realistic of having that south half of your building moved? And what kind of resources do you need to get that done?
Well, we're just mostly going to need some manpower to, transfer the stuff. What I was talking about, though, right away is moving the equipment that's not going to stay with me at the Rattler building, moving that equipment into the storage area, and then once we move that, then we can see about where we clear that side he's going to be working on, so that we can he can get to work on that. I mean, it's not going to take very, very much to clear that out.
Okay. What do you need in the way of manpower and when?
I guess we could probably start on it in the next couple of weeks, and probably need two or three guys, if we could, from the sheriff department. I'm
going to suggest that you call the sheriff or call Captain Fosdick and see if they couldn't provide you, figure out how many guys you need, when you need them, how long you think you will have them, and I'm sure they'll be happy to coordinate that with you. They've always been quick to respond on those.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
So you think it's realistic to have that building half empty by first or second week of August?
Oh, sure.
Good deal. All right.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks, Leonard.
All right, item number 11, consider and possibly approve selection of an auditor for the annual county audit for the year ended September 30, 2014.
Tell me what you've got here. You've requested proposals from.
Yes, when they do the audit, they do the financial audit of the county, but they also do the probation audit at the same time. I know these one of them compared two different sheets of paper there, which I'm it's the two different audits. So Landy's always made his, he's put it all in one presentation, but he does have to be broken down. I'm assuming everybody else has to have hold any of those.
Okay, this first one is that Whiteley Pen or Whitley Pen? These are, they're out of Dallas. Like 3 copies of the same document. Okay, here's proposal pricing. We do have 2 separate figures. I've got the Titus County annual financial report. And then they've got a separate line for Titus County Department. What did you say that second? Okay.
I'll also say this, we got, there were a couple of firms in Tyler that I knew did this type of work. I contacted those. The rest of these names, some of them sent back proposals, some of them did not. I got from Hopkins County because they were going through the same process last year, and I got the list of the ones they contacted.
All right, their price on the Titus County annual audit, $26,800, and then an additional $2,840 for the juvenile probation. That brings a total of $31,440. Let me redo my math there. $31,440. That's.
A lot of times when they are out of town,
I'm sure that there will be travel as well.
I don't know if that number includes the travel.
Well, we'll ask for additional time to study these more carefully. Okay, this is from Conway Company CPAs in Greenville. I've got two envelopes from them.
Right. I'm thinking one's going to be the juvenile. They currently do the city.
Oh, it's 28. I misquoted that last number here. Thank you, Mike. $26,800 plus an additional $2,840.
That's what you said.
A total of $29,440. And again, most likely this does not include their travel and expenses, but we'll need time to study those particulars. That's just their base quote, I would imagine. I've got two envelopes from Conway Company. Would that possibly be the two separate audits?
Yeah, two separate. They currently do the city of Mount Pleasant. They have, I think, the last city.
Okay, I'm going to assume this short package is for Titus County Juvenile Probation. Should the organization expend $500,000 or more in federal awards or state funds, the fee for a single audit should be approximately $2,500. The fee for the regular audit without the addition of the single audit requirement would be $2,500, so it appears to be the same price. So there's the $2,500 for the juvenile probation department. Let me get the associated quote here from Conway related to the county audit. Okay, schedule of professional fees and expenses. It looks like they've got a price of $27,000 and they're adding the $2,500 from the juvenile probation department. I believe that's what it just calls it, contingencies, other single audit, $2,500. So $27,000 plus $2,500 again, which I assume to be the juvenile probation audit, for a total of $29,500. So that's Conway Company CPAs out of Greenville. This is Patillo, Brown, and Hill out of Waco. And here they've separated out the cost of the audit plus out-of-pocket expenses. And again, I don't know if these previous ones include their out-of-pocket expenses for meals and lodging, transportation, and administrative personnel. I'll break this down into the, without those out-of-pocket expenses, $30,400, $3,500 for the juvenile probation audit in addition to that, plus another, looks like $2,100 for the out-of-pocket expenses. Just to compare apples and apples, let me just say $33,900, not counting out-of-pocket expenses. And then they're adding on additional out-of-pocket to bring it up to $36,000. But since I don't know if those out-of-pockets are included in those, I'm going to stick with the two audits, the county and the juvenile probation, $33,900. This is Henry and Peters out of Longview. Looking to see if they've got a separate quote for the juvenile probation. Right now, I don't see anything. They're giving us a fee estimate of $31,500. Our invoices for these fees plus out-of-pocket travel expenses will be rendered each month. Let's see. This does not appear to include any out-of-pocket. This is simply giving hourly rates for officers, managers, seniors, and staff that would participate in the audit. $31,500. This is Arnold, Walker and Arnold, our local firm that has been doing our work for us. Bob, thank you for being here. We'll give you a chance to say whatever you'd like here in just a moment. And correct me if I'm wrong, you've asked each of these firms to give you a price with the assumption that they would retain the audit work for a 3-year period?
Yes, and with an extension of 2 years.
Yeah.
With a possible extension of 2 years? Okay. In other words, nobody wants to come in and do a 1-year audit. There are certain economies that are gained by multiple years, and so each of these, I would assume, is expecting to have at least a 3-year run here. Okay, for Titus County, let's see if let me just read this. Our proposed fees are quoted assuming that the county's books are in balance, there are no significant findings or deficiencies. Also, the fees are quoted assuming no major increase in audit requirements. All these fees are proposed assuming no significant new grants. We will reserve the right to visit with the court about additional fees other than these given below. In any of these instances, we would propose additional fees using the same rate structure as the proposed fees below. Our proposed fees for Titus County for the year ending 2014, that'll be this upcoming audit, $27,850. They're proposing a range next year of $28,600 up to $29,400, and then in the third year, a range of $29,500 up to $30,500. If Titus County continues for those additional 2 years. In other words, these rates go up slightly each year, and Arnold Walker is giving us those expected fees over the next several years. For the juvenile probation audit for this upcoming year, over the next 5 years, their rates would be as follows: $2,270, $2,340, $2,410, $2,500, and then in the 5th year, $2,600. So all of these appear to be, on first glance, you know, somewhat pretty close in the same neighborhood. We'll need to study these a little more carefully and see if we're really comparing apples and apples, or if we need to adjust some of these for out-of-pocket expenses. Obviously, an out-of-town firm is going to have more expenses for travel and lodging, especially if they're coming out of Waco or Dallas. I don't know about Longview, but Mount Pleasant would have the advantage in that we would not have those additional fees there. So that gives you an idea. Bob, thank you for being here. I'm going to give you a couple of minutes here, if you don't mind.
No, I didn't. I can't just say thank you for allowing us to do this in the past. We don't just presume that we'll get to do it forever. I was looking up here, though. We started with Judge Taylor. And he called and he said, they're not sending us our federal revenue sharing money. We said, well, why not? He said, well, they're going wrong. And so, you put that camera down, Paul. And he said, they need an audit. Well, this was in February. We said, okay, well, we'll get you an audit. And we did. They got the federal revenue sharing, and it happily ever after. But
you were probably in the mail room back then, weren't you? Yeah.
Probably. But no, I'm here just this morning to say thank you. And if we can clarify anything today or as this goes along, we'll probably need to talk to Lanny.
And Lanny had other obligations going on with his daughter. He explained that. I understand, and we're real grateful for the quality of work you've given us for umpteen years, however long it has been. Never have had anything but wonderful service out of your firm, and I thank you for that.
It'd be twice that much for Carl.
Really? Oh, come on. I would certainly suggest that we would table this and give Carl an opportunity to read the fine print and see how these things really do stack up. All right, motion by Commissioner Fields.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton to table the decision on selecting auditor for this upcoming year. All those in favor of that decision say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 12, consider and possibly take action regarding the continued use of the Senior Meal Center by now 3 entities: Senior Citizen Services of Texarkana, NETO, and Architects Council of Governments. Again, just a refresher, we've talked about this over the last couple of meetings. We've previously had one entity, NETO, that handled all of these responsibilities. They handled the senior meal services, they handled the utility assistance, and they handled the Trax bus services, all out of the offices that we provide there on North Edwards at the Senior Meal Center. And now, because we have 3 entities that are going to be occupying and functioning out of that building, we really need to figure out a way to allocate the utilities and repairs over there. A few weeks ago, I had the utilities transferred into the name of Titus County, and so in an effort to spread out those expenses for gas, electricity, water, lawn mowing, et cetera, we've got to figure out how we're going to get reimbursed for some, all, none of those utility expenses. I gave you something in writing. Hopefully you all saw this. This was just a place to start. It's not necessarily something. I'm going to let Judy, would you like to talk first or when I'm done? Come on up. And I hadn't forgotten you. I was just moving on.
I know you guys don't like to hear from us taxpayers, so I'm going to make it short and quick, and I even brought notes so I wouldn't wander. I fear you guys are considering triple dipping the taxpayers. All of these organizations get most of their money from government grants. Government has no money. Government has taxpayers' money. They're staying in a building that we're furnishing for them with maintenance. That's the county's building. The county has no money. It has taxpayers' monies. And now you're considering paying for the utilities. I see that as triple dipping the taxpayers. And what I think you lose sight of is who your taxpayers are. And they are not the filthy rich here in Titus County. They go from the very poorest to the very oldest on fixed incomes. And you're taking from those to give to these. Colonel Davy Crockett was a U.S. representative from Tennessee, and he said, "The power of collecting and dispersing money at pleasure is the most dangerous power that can be entrusted to a man." I'd also like to point out, I believe that Commissioner Hinton is on one of these boards, and Judge Lee is a treasurer on one of these. And to me, that's a direct conflict of interest for you to represent both the county and these boards. So I feel like y'all would need to recuse yourself on any kind of a vote that the commissioners would take.
Thank you, Judy.
Judge, I'm going to make one comment. I've written on that sheet that you put in there. Since that's our building, I think we want to take care of the vent hood, whatever that problem is. We want to take care of the mowing, above, spring. And then the rest of it, those people that's up there should take care of the electricity, the water, the gas. And us take care of what our part of the building.
Okay.
I've written that on the bottom of that note.
And you saw my note where Senior Citizen Services did agree to pay for pest elimination and vent-hood cleaning because they have to be able to prove that that's going on. So they did offer to include that as part of their contribution. AtCog has, since I wrote this memo up, has said that they would take care of the lawn mowing. So if you want to keep that in your hands, I understand. If you want to trust them to do what they say they need to have done anyway, I feel certain that I can trust Chris Brown, the head of COG, to take care of the mowing with some of the folks that they use up there. But we had...
I have a problem with them doing the mowing. I just thought that was one of their issues. And we're going to have a contract with mowers anyway, so...
That's true, and I've bid that with the assumption that we would take care of the lawn mowing. There's not much up there to be done. How would our professional service take care of it as opposed to some of their employees? I'm sure we would get a superior job. Nonetheless, they've offered to do it. After we tallied up expenses over the last year, if you'll recall, we came up with a total average utilities of about $800 a month. That does not include pest elimination, vent-hood, lawn mowing. That was simply gas, water, and electricity. Just to give you a place to start, I had put down on here if Senior Citizen Services paid $250, if COG paid $250, and if NETO paid $100, that would take care of $600 of the $800, leaving us with $200. That's not what I'm asking you to do. I personally think that they ought to pay somehow, some way for all of this. We were previously in that kind of an arrangement where we didn't have any out-of-pocket expenses related to those utilities, and the players have changed, but the fact that they are a government-funded entity in each one of these cases, I feel like they should be able to take care of this. Now, is that going to price it so high where they're going to have to move their operation somewhere? You know, I don't know. But I wanted you to at least be able to play with these numbers here, and so I'm asking you, what would you like to do here to take care of these $800 a month in utilities? And what would you like to do with pest elimination, vent-hood cleaning, as well as lawn mowing?
$800 a month. When they start cooking, I expect those utilities will be a lot higher than that.
Well, again, this is based on the last year, which did include meals being prepared.
They didn't do much cooking the last year. They've been out of there quite a while now. Most of the year, or the last part of the year.
No, they haven't been out of there that long.
Oh, they haven't?
No.
When did they get out?
2 months ago.
2 months.
Well, why now, I guess Nito hired this people out of Texarkana to do the cooking, but yet they're going to maintain an office here.
No, Nito did not hire anybody. Nito was responsible, and Commissioner Hinton is on that board. He can address that. Nito did before handle all of these different departments, the meal services, the utility assistants, and the tracks buses.
Right.
Now Nito is going to have the smallest operation over there. They're simply going to be handling utility assistance, where when they have money available, they give money out to local Titus County residents that are in need of help with their utility bills. So Senior Citizen Services is a brand new service provider that was contracted by the COG to take over where NETO was no longer able to provide the senior meals.
Well, you got my note. I guess you didn't acknowledge it. Where Nito gets $4 million. Titus County,
No, I did receive it. They do.
And then I don't know about tracks, but you're the treasurer of that management board, so you should know that. And
I do know it. And what does that have to do with the discussion?
You're the treasurer. You know their finance. Where do they get their money?
I do. It's government provided. We've been over this. Every bit of this is government money. And so we're simply here deciding one subject and one alone. Are we going to pay for any of these utilities, or do we want those that are using our building to pay for these? My opinion is they should pay for them. I assume that's your opinion.
That is my opinion.
Okay. Any other comments, questions, motions?
You need a motion on this?
Yeah, if we've adequately discussed it, I want to be sure that I've made this clear.
I'm gonna make a motion that we take care of what we're supposed to take care of the building, in the hood and those type of things. And they take care of electricity, water, and gas.
Can I ask you why you feel the need for us to pay for pest elimination in Venahood if they say that they're going to do that?
Didn't we just put a new one in there a year before last or something? Cost us, what was that?
About 3 years.
And they hadn't been cleaning it, and that's the reason it was, I feel like if it's ours, we're gonna have, I think it's what, $7,000 to do that, $7,000 or $8,000 to do that.
And again, that was NETO's responsibility at that time. They're no longer responsible. We now have Senior Citizen Services.
And they're going to be responsible for cleaning that.
That's what they're saying. If you would like to maintain control of that and simply send them the bill, I can certainly discuss any way you want to design this with them. I'm just trying to eliminate as much expense to the county related to these operations as is possible.
I'll change my motion in for us to let them take care of all of it.
And I'll second the motion.
Then a hood.
And mowing?
And the mowing.
Okay, all right. Motion by Commissioner Hockaday. Let me be sure I've got this correct. Senior Citizen Services will pay for Venahood cleaning and pest elimination, and I will ask them to provide proof of that when it's done. The COG would provide lawn mowing services, and we will divide up the $800 a month between these three organizations. Can I have a second?
$800 a month. We're going to keep it at $800? What if the bills are $1,000? They're not going to pay the other.
Give me a proposal.
I propose that they pay all of the utility bills and divide it up percentage-wise, just like you've got it, if you think that's a good percentage-wise.
Well, I'm trying to not put a lot of math work going into this every month of dividing up these bills. We know what these bills are working out to be. We can reevaluate them every 6 months or so. If we're not maintaining at $800 a month, it's not covering those utilities, we can always make an adjustment. But to have to send out a separate calculated bill to each of these entities each month, I believe, is unnecessary bookwork for us, whereas if we can just agree on a monthly amount to cover what we anticipate to be the expenses, that would be how I would suggest it. But you can make the motion any way that you want.
You still got us down with $200 of it.
No, they're going to pay all of it. I need your assistance in coming up with how we're going to allocate that $800.
You've got it allocated.
They would pay all of it.
Right, and
he'll allocate one each department.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I agree with that. I'll second that motion. If they pay all of it.
That is right.
Here's what I'd maybe say do. Add another $75 a month to senior citizens, another $75 to COG, and another $50 to NETO. That covers your additional $200. So that brings us up to $325, $325, and $150 with the county contribution of $0, brings us to $800 a month. And then we've allocated the pest and Venahood and lawn mowing within these organizations. Is that okay? Motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. All right, open and review bids and possibly approve for landscape maintenance services tabled from the previous meeting. You have any landscape bids for me? Okay, we just have two. Okay, this is from Stanley's, our current provider. Just so you'll know, not only did we rebid this, we contacted at least 4 more companies in this business and offered the same detailed description of services. Okay, this is from David Stanley at Stanley's. Enclosed is my landscape maintenance proposal. I'll be out of town during the session. I've maintained properties for several years and feel like I'm at a big disadvantage in this process. And I have discussed this with Mr. Stanley. He has given us a proposal here of $9,780 per year, $815 a month. He has provided us with the requisite proof of insurance here. He is also a licensed applicator for pesticides and a licensed irrigator for any sprinkler maintenance. That was made part of our most recent request for bids to be sure that we didn't have somebody that was not properly licensed that was putting out weed spray, bug spray, or doing any work on our sprinklers. And if they were not licensed, that they would use only somebody as a subcontractor that was. So $815 per month. This is bid number 2. This is from Lewis Enterprises. This is Nick Lewis, who was one who had originally given us that low bid. He is bid for 12-month services, $750 per month to be paid in 12 equal payments. All right, so we have a comparison of $750 per month with $815 per month. And I want to remind you, our first bid, we accepted a bid, or we opened bids from these same 2 businesses, Stanley's and Lewis Enterprises. At that time, Lewis Enterprises had not given us a complete bid with all of the specifications that we had asked for, and we decided to go back and clarify and seek additional bids. And since that time, obviously those bids became public, and therefore Mr. Lewis did have an advantage over Mr. Stanley, knowing what Mr. Stanley had previously bid. So we are now down to a $65 a month differential here. And Mr. Lewis is clearly the low bid. He does understand all the different locations that are involved here, which is different from what he understood the first time, and he understands he must have a license or use only a licensed applicator and irrigation repair. What would you like to do?
Make a motion, we
go with low bid.
I second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton and second by Commissioner Riddle to go with the low bid, and that would be Lewis Enterprises. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion.
One point of clarification. This is going to start now August 1st.
This is going to start August 1st. We did get an agreement by Mr. Stanley to continue through the end of July because his contract ended at the end of June.
And Mr. Lewis will have to provide you with proof of insurance if it's not in there.
He says he has got it, and he will provide that. Work comp as well as liability. Okay. Yes, sir. Sure. Let me introduce you here to Nick Lewis. Nick came by and visited with me the other day just to make sure he had clear understanding on the bid process. Welcome.
I don't have any type of speech prepared, but thank you for letting me talk. It is my full intention to make sure that any task on these properties are well maintained. And I'll look every one of you in the eye and give you my word. That's coming from me. I stick behind what I say. Thank you for the confusion, and thank you for letting me be a part of this court.
Thank you, Nick. Appreciate your attendance today. Item number 14, consider and possibly approve an expenditure of $625 for stripping and waxing the floors at the Senior Meal Center.
Judge, I'd like to make a motion we approve that expenditure.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton. How often is this done?
We hadn't done it. We do it last year.
We do it at the extension office once a year.
Yeah.
I don't know that we.
I don't remember the last time we done it here. 2 or 3 years.
All right, motion by Commissioner Hinton. Did I hear a second down here? I'm sorry. No? No? Second. Okay, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of this expenditure, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 15, consider and possibly approve changing the August 11th morning Commissioners Court meeting back 3 days prior to Friday, August 8th. I'll be on vacation the week of August 11th. I'm happy to let you all conduct court in my absence. This is just a suggestion. Do it whichever way you choose. My suggestion would be we have it at 9 a.m. Friday morning, August 8th.
I don't have any problem with that, Judge. Make that motion.
Motion by Commissioner Fields.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor of changing that meeting date to Friday, the 8th, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 16, consider and possibly approve travel and seminars. First item is a request from our clerk, Diane Norris, to send Jennifer Boyd, who is a criminal clerk, to the Net Data Regional Users Group Conference in Sulphur Springs. The date of her attendance would be the 20th of August, so she would travel and return on that day. So she's asking for cost of travel. This is a free seminar. We'll just be paying for her mileage there and back. Is that right? No. $42.33. These next several items are from the sheriff. First request is to send Craig Brown and Wayne Miner to interview and interrogation training in Plano, Texas. This is not mandatory. The dates of training would be the week of August 18th through the 22nd. They would travel on the 18th through the 22nd. Cost of registration is $495 per person, total of $990. Per diem meals he's got 10 days, 5 days for each one, and then the 5 nights of hotel. I'm not sure why we've got to spend 5 nights on hotel when it says we're traveling 18, 19, 20, 21. So I'll have to get clarification on that one. They'll take a county vehicle. The total cost is to be taken out of comptroller training funds, no cost to the county. Next item is to send Ginger Wood, Communications Supervisor, Lieutenant Michael Garcia, and Lieutenant Woody Hughes to TCIC Associate Trainer Recertification in Louisville. Mandatory training on the 21st of August. We'll pay for the cost of a meal up to $20 since it's a travel day and not an overnight day. No overnight expenses, about $60 worth of fuel. Next is to send Jamie Rodarte, Corrections Officer, to Basic County Corrections Course in Texarkana. These will be over a 2-week period in Texarkana, the 14th through the 29th. We've got registration fee of $210, per diem $240, total approximate cost of $450. Looks like we have the same request for Noemi Andrade, Corrections Officer, going to Basic County Corrections in Texarkana over those same dates, 14th through 29th of August. And again, another $450 to cover the test fee and the per diem meals. Next request is to send Sergeant Scott Wildy to Crimes Against Children's Conference in Dallas, the 11th through the 14th of August. This will be $40 per day times 4 for per diem. No cost of hotel, motel. It's paid by NetCAC, and he'll take a county vehicle. Total anticipated cost to the county of about $200, which includes parking and his meals. That's all I have in the way of travel and seminars.
Make a motion that we approve.
Motion by Commissioner Riddle, second by Commissioner Fields to approve these travel seminar requests. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Approve oral and written reports of county officials is item number 17.
I got it
Need a minute. You want me to jump to the treasurer's report? Okay.
motion we approve written reports.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton for approval.
Second by Commissioner Fields. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Item number 18, consider and possibly approve the treasurer's report.
Make a motion we approve treasurer's report.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton for approval.
Second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of the approval of the treasurer's report, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item number 18, approve budget amendments.
This is number 41 through number 46, Judge. 41 is line item changes in the district clerk's office, the county auditor's office, the sheriff's office, and the juvenile probation, but it's just line item changes between existing accounts. Number 42 is the first entry for the search grant. This is the $5,000 legal expense to get it set up. There'll be other things coming along, but that's all that's in there right now. Number 43 is to record grant income and expense for the Chapter 19 money, $2,500 for some travel expense. That's the one that Leonard was talking about earlier. We spend the money, then we ask for reimbursement. He had $2,500 in travel expense, and he'll be reimbursed that, so that's all that's in here. As he spends that money that was approved today, that'll be added to the grant, but it'll be revenue and expense. Number 44 is a emergency budget amendment that does take money out of the fund balance, $30,650. We added $7,500 to postage for the annex. We had budgeted $25,000 originally. It's going to run more like $32,500. The copier expense, we had budgeted $25,000 originally, and it's going to run about $32,500. The adult probation demolition expense, we had originally budgeted $60,669. There was another $5,000 that had to do with the asbestos work that wasn't in the original numbers that I had, that was approved by the courts. I can't remember the name of that company, but I talked to you about it the other day.
We did come in at the budget that we approved.
Well, yes, but what happened on that one, I didn't have it in my budget because I didn't have all the invoices. I didn't have that invoice.
That was an invoice that was about 6 months late.
That's right. That's right. So I didn't have it. It was $5,000, but y'all had approved it in court. I just had to amend it in the budget. And then the last one is for $10,650 for the county cleanup program. That's how much they charged us for the dumpsters. So that's. Well, in the past I paid that out of miscellaneous expense, but I don't have any miscellaneous expense, so I have.
That is due money.
So you have to take it out of the general fund?
Yes. Well, I mean, I guess I didn't ask y'all. I could have split it up between the 4 precincts, but I didn't. I just paid it out of general.
$10,650.
That's what the dumpsters cost that were spread all around the county. Number 45 is just a routine adjustment to the loop construction money. It's a line item. It's coming out of the program contingency and going to construction management. That's all been pre-approved as part of y'all's agreement with pay. Number 46 is a line item change for Chris Durant, Constable 1. And it's just between his gas and oil and his dues and bonds, $200. But those are line item changes.
All right. Each of you have previously approved these with your signature. Anybody want to look at any of these again? If not, I'll ask for your approval on these 6 items. Motion by Commissioner Fields to approve these budget amendments.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Hinton. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Item number 20, sign pay orders and approve payments.
Make a motion to pay bills.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton for approval.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
I'm putting a new procedure in here. We do live checks in between courts. Normally, it's just utility bills, something that comes up that has to be paid and waits until the next court date to be paid or will be late. I always get all the commissioners to okay those, but I haven't been included in the minutes. So I'm going to, they're always available, but I'm going to actually let y'all look at these again.
How would those normally be approved? After the fact, when we come to the next meeting, and those are then included in the bills?
The past is just by signatures of at least 3 of you, and I don't bring it back to court once I get 3 of you to okay it. But they're never, if somebody wanted to look at the minutes of the approved bills, the only ones that have been in the minutes are the ones that we're paying today. So I'm going to start including these in the minutes. I'm going to have her make a copy and attach it to the minutes so that they'll be in there. They're always approved by court. They're always in our office and available, but they haven't been attached to any set of minutes. So I'm going to start attaching them to the set of minutes, but I want y'all to see them again.
And these are ones that are typically time sensitive, and we don't want to be late on them, and we don't have enough time in between court meetings.
Most of them are going to be utility bills, maybe the visa bill if it's due. The other one that's been showing up lately is some of the subcontractors because they've done work either on the deal bill or something. It's in the amounts that y'all approved in your budget. Pay those guys, but rather than wait sometimes 2 or 3 weeks to get the subs paid. Those people usually like to get their money every week, so we pay them. But you can.
And these are all previously approved by signature by each commissioner.
They signed off on them. They signed off on them individually. And this tells you who it's to. Like this is the pay bill. That when they come in, we have to pay those. Usually within 3 or 4 days when we send it back. But everything has to pay.
And there's SWEPCO, Tri-Special Utility, Sudden Link, AT&T. Okay. No change in procedure other than you're inserting these in the minutes for us to go over. Okay. All of these have full approval by signature. If you would like to look at these, you've already seen these, but anybody want to see these, you can. So that is, we've got a motion. Did you make that motion? I'm sorry. I had a motion by Commissioner Fields, which included signing the unpaid pay orders and approving payments, as well as these live checks that were done here recently.
I made the motion.
What?
I made the motion.
You made the motion. Motion by Commissioner Hinton. What's that?
Sorry about that.
What correction is that? Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Fields. All in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Okay. Item number 21, closing comments by judge and commissioners, if any. Do you have that copy of that article? A couple of weeks ago, I think that I put in each of your boxes a copy of a very good article out of County Progress. That's it, the colored. And this is, do you have any more copies of it? This is an article entitled County Roads 101. It is an article, a very good article about county road work and who does it, who's responsible for it, and it discusses not 1, not 2, but 5 different statutory methods for taking care of roads in a county. You've got the road supervisor system, the road commissioner system, the ex officio road commissioner system, the road superintendent system, and the county road department system, or the unit system, of which there has been some discussion. If anybody would like a copy of this article in print, I'd love to be able to email it to you and save my precious color copies, but I have a few copies already made here. It's about 5 pages that gives you a good overview on what the law is. It doesn't offer necessarily editorial opinions on each, but it gives you an idea of what the different methods are. So I've got 2 or 3 of those here, or anybody wants it scanned to you. That's all that I have. Commissioner Hockaday? Okay. Commissioner Hinton?
I have nothing, Judge.
Commissioner Fields?
One thing, I'd like the court to know that I'm fixing to go out for bids on the energy money on County Road 2400.
Rather than doing it all in-house, you're going to get some external bids.
People to help for seal coat and stuff. If we don't have a seal coat truck at the time we do this out and that out, I think I can get a pretty good quote on it. And I really don't have the manpower to do that. Okay. But I'm going to get together with Paul, Drake, and Longview.
And that was your major project out of the county road grant money, right? Okay.
We'll do everything in-house, fix everything that needs fixed, we'll replace covers, fix soft spots. We'll get it. All we're talking about is seal coating the road.
You get it done by September 1?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I'm just kidding you. Anything else? Welcome, Mr. Old. Commissioner Riddle.
Yeah, I have something. The commissioners had an emergency meeting on May the 19th while I was on vacation to ask for additional funds to spend on the annex construction. On my behalf, Nigel Christopher asked the court to suspend the remodel of the annex until the effect of the Luminant bankruptcy filing could be evaluated. Carl Johnson, county auditor, replied to Nigel's request by stating that the county had lost $450,000 in tax revenues from Luminant, and the commissioners had handled the loss by being conservative. That is not true. The commissioners have increased the tax rate by 22.47% in the past 3 years for more tax dollars to cover the loss. Next Monday or Tuesday, July the 21st and 22nd, the Commissioners Court will start having meetings to discuss the 2015 budget. These meetings are scheduled for 8:30 a.m. when most taxpayers are working. Last year at the budget meetings, the courtroom was filled with county employees to protect their much above average benefits and wages. Some county offices were closed so the employees could attend while on the clock and being paid by the taxpayers. The commissioners will not have these meetings in the evening when the taxpayers could attend these budget meetings. The current Commissioners Court has no history of ever cutting any spending. And I would like to say that they tried to get, last year, the county employees, I don't know who was behind it, tried to get all the employees to come to those meetings, including some of the road employees. I just believe that we should have these meetings so that people can come to it that pay the bills, not have it for the benefit of the county employees that we have had last year.
Well, I'd like to answer at least part of that. You got part of your answer right. When Luminant cut,
put your microphone over there, would you?
When Luminant cut from $900 million in valuation to, what was it, $550 million in valuation?
580.
Our total tax hit was $1.5 million. And we did have to raise the taxes for half the money, and the other half of the money was through savings. So,
according to the Titus County Clerk's office, we collected this much money every year. Every year since we started, and every year since then. So I don't know where that come from. We increased the taxes by 24%.
We did increase it for that.
Years, but it come to the total of 22,447. So we got the same amount of money. Matter of fact, we got more in 2011. We don't have that much. They cut us to 5. They finally agreed on that 580 instead of that 560.
Right. But then they came down to 580. Now they're at 459.
Next year, but still.
And this year
look what we
they're
collected,
asking.
9,000,008 in 2010, 10,709.
And how much did you collect? And how much did you collect this year?
Well, we're still collecting.
How much is that compared to that year there?
Well, that was because
I don't know.
2 years, but it don't make any difference.
We went from 9,000,008 to 9,005,000.
No, we're still on this year.
Well, there's not any more. There's very little property tax.
All right, we're going to bring this to a close. The meetings that we're having next week are simply the workshop meetings. This is not the public meetings that we call together to discuss the budget. I don't remember the employees coming to the workshop.
Well, get your YouTube. You even made a comment. Glad to see such a big crowd. You certainly knew they were county employees.
I think we're getting mixed up on the meetings.
No joke. Yeah, well, you said that last year too. Would I pay $10 to give an employee? Let me tell you something. I paid $2,800 of those people's $10. I take $2,800 less per year than the other commissioners. How much did you pay?
A lot more than you did. You want to switch with me?
You paid more than 28,000 people.
Sakes, Carl, hurry up. I need my road out there fixing me on the stripes. God help me.
I'm not going to argue with you.
Okay. Did you request to speak?
Yes, sir.
You did?
Well, I'm doing it now.
Will it be brief? I'm just trying to get everybody used to our system of asking to speak rather than deciding to speak along the way.
All right, I'm going to take advantage of the old system. I'm going to step up, okay?
Sure.
I've been out of town a little.
Can I get you to come up to the mic and I'm going to give you how about, will 1 minute do it or do you need more? 2 seconds? No, I'll give you more than that.
I've been out of town, so I don't know what the status is on the grant money for roads. A lot of talk was held at various meetings. I don't know what came of it.
Okay, here's what happened. We had originally been told we might get about $305,000. We ended up actually getting $366,000. Then we had to decide how we were going to use that money, and so the decisions were made as to how to allocate that. We have to match it 10 cents.
40-40-20 or something like that?
No, it's a 90-10. So the state's giving us 366. We're coming up with about 40,000 for a total $400,000 to be used on various projects within the 4 precincts.
Good. And the last question is, when will the health insurance claims be presented?
We're going to be having a workshop on is it next Friday? Next Friday at 9 o'clock. Next
and is
Friday.
the public invited?
Sure. It'll be a public posted meeting, a workshop format. Okay. All right. That's all I have, gentlemen, ladies.
Motion we adjourn.
Motion by Commissioner Hinton, second by Commissioner Hockaday. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.